Are you a light worker? That term might not mean what you think it means. Hey guys, it's John here in my studio on a beautiful, beautiful afternoon. It's in the 70s outside and a nice cool breeze. It's just lovely. The sun is shining, the birds are chirping, and I'm sitting here drinking a mug of water, enjoying feeling healthy. I want to talk about the term light workers. A lot of people will call themselves light workers. A lot of people will term themselves as a light worker. Many people have told me they were born a light worker. There's many different variations of what this word has come to mean over the years. And I want to talk about what the word light worker means because, as with most words, especially words used to define, the meanings of them change over time. But when you look back at the original term light worker, the word light worker comes from Michael Mirdad. He was an author from the 1980s. He coined the term light worker. Later on, Doreen Virtue wrote a book called Lightworker's Way, which perpetuated the way of the light worker. Over time, people have thought of it as something that is more than what it was originally intended. Originally, it was just intended as someone who has a pull to help others. And that's all it originally meant, a pull to help others. A person who has a pull to help others is a person who wants to do good things in the world, basically. Over time, light workers have become, in many people's view, a something you're born as. I'm born as a light worker. I realize suddenly I'm a light worker and I work with light. And so now all these variations and ideas have been wrapped around this simple term that Michael Mirdad created in the 1980s, meaning someone who wants to be helpful, a light worker. Over the time, in all of our lives, our meanings of things change. Back in the 50s, when you said gay, you meant happy. And then now it does mean something entirely different. There are terminologies that change constantly. But what happens in the spiritual movements is these terms like light worker, people begin to create their own dogmas or ideas around what they mean. But this word is not that old. 1980s is not that long ago. I know that seems ridiculous to some of you younger folk, but it's true. It's not that long ago. I graduated in high school in 82, so it can't be that long ago. People tend to start to add meaning to it, and the New Age movements especially add meanings to it. And that those meanings become these new belief systems or dogmas, and they become the paths away from yourself that I often talk about. The word light worker, as I say, just means someone who wants to be helpful. The question is this something in your life that is simple? And are you just simply being helpful? The other thing is if you are someone who terms himself as a light worker, there's another way to say that. Might be a highly empathic person, someone who just wants to help because you feel the struggles others are having, so you want to be helpful. Most people who have that sort of tendency often tend to forget to help themselves or love themselves equally, and they often struggle through life because they're doing for others rather than doing for themselves. So the question about whether you're a light worker or not really comes down to, are you someone who wants to be of service, who wants to help, and are you equally serving yourself so that you can have the ability to serve? Because if you don't take care of yourself equally, you can't take care of it. Your light will not shine brightly, right? The terminology of light worker brings up so many images of, hands-on healing and all these various aspects, but in reality, the term light worker is anybody who just wants to be helpful. And when people start adding these hierarchical structures or these endowments of special abilities because they're a light worker, that's all brand new dogma. That's all brand new Age dogma that's been added to a word that Michael Mirdad basically said, someone who has a pull towards helping others. And actually, he says it was uh, Lightworkers are people who feel an enormous pull towards helping others, is what he said. So when you look at the idea of what does your term Lightworker mean? Does it mean more than that, or is it simply that you just want to help others? I think the more we label, the more we define, the further we get away from ourselves. The more we label, the more we define, the more we create a structure of hierarchy. And I think it's all simpler. I think it's all so much simpler. A compassionate person could be a quote unquote light worker because they want to help someone out of their own compassion. And when you look at the word light worker and you realize that it simply means someone who wants to help others, that means that it's not some big esoteric title that we wear or carry. It's not this special ability that we're born into. It's not this role that we have to fulfill. It literally is, I just want to help people. And when you look at it from that perspective, you find that it does simplify the world. You are connected directly to the source. And to be someone who wants to be helpful and wants to help others is the opportunity for you to step into that role and be the person who is helpful, be that light worker. But it's technically it's nothing more than that. And when people tell you that I am a light worker, they're usually not talking about just being helpful. They're usually talking about putting themselves into a hierarchical structure to make themselves feel more powerful or like they have a special mission or task. But that's not what the word means. And in fact, in reality, to be of service is to be an equal to someone, is to help someone else. Be a brother or a sister to, rather than a guru or a teacher to. And many light workers have set themselves apart as gurus or teachers or special ability people who are here to help. But that has less to do with the meaning of the word and more to do with the person's need to be in a hierarchy and up in the ranks of a spiritual hierarchy. So that's my thought on this. You guys have a great day. I like when I can show people what the word actually means and the origins of these kind of words, because you can see very quickly how fast dogma and doctrines and ideologies build around words that only mean something very simple. And it's like the word karma. People have over the term have made it over lifetimes of karma and all this stuff. All it originally meant in the early text was what you sow, you reap. It's not all the esoteric topics and over lifetimes, all that. That's much later dogma that was added. So the more you look at it, it turns out to be a very interesting struggle. It's like the word ego. Nowadays, everyone thinks the word ego is bad, when in reality, in the origins of the word, it literally meant that I'm aware of my individuality. I'm aware of myself. Has nothing. It's not a good nor a bad. And I like to say when your ego, your awareness of self, is out of balance, is where you struggle. You can get so aware of yourself to the exclusion of others, or you can get so aware of others to the exclusion of yourself. And either way is a bad. It's more about balancing your self-awareness with your equality with everyone else. And so to me, that to me is a more accurate description of how you use the word ego. But ego, karma, light worker, all these words are being used in ways that they were not intended. And the intentions that are now being used with the words today are based in added dogma that has been, placed upon or attributed to these words, but these words never meant that. And it literally takes us further away from ourselves, in my opinion. Anyway, that's my thought on this. You guys have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon. See ya. Bye.